Welcome back for February 2025's housing market update for the Triangle. I'm Domingo from eXp Realty. We're going to start off with the entire Triangle region, move into the Raleigh stats, then Cary, Apex, Morrisville, and finally Durham. So, starting off with the entire Triangle region, for new listings, we're sitting at 3,991. That's roughly a 77% increase from the month prior. Closed sales is down to 2,263 compared to the prior month of 2,903, as well as the median sales price is also down at $387,475 compared to December's even $400,000. Following the same trend for average sales price, we're at $466,630, which is down from December's $480,549. The total dollar volume in millions for January is 1,056, meaning that also went down in comparison to December's 1,393. The percent of original list price received continues to also go down at 96%, which is actually on par with the previous month at 96.6%. And almost also on par is the percent of list price received, sitting at 98.3% compared to 98.7%. The first percentage that I gave you is of the original price that the seller posted the home for sale, which when considering the next percentage means that sellers are lowering their price from the original listing. Days on market is up as to be expected. It's 32 compared to 25. Now, the good news is with the number of homes increasing, the prices decreasing, that does mean the housing affordability index is up to 82 compared to 80. And again, the goal here is to reach 100 to show a healthy market. Moving on to the total inventory of homes for sale, we're at 7,874 compared to December's 7,518, which based on the first two metrics of new listings and closed sales checks out, which ultimately lands us at the month supply of homes for sale at 2.5, which is more or less on par with December's 2.4. So breaking it down into smaller sections, starting with Raleigh, we're looking at new listings at 699 compared to 361, closed sales at 379 compared to 507, median sales price at 425,000, which is quite a bit below December's 479,990. Average sale price is also lower at 563,146 compared to December's 618,556. Total dollar volume in millions is 213, which is down from December's 314. Percent of original list price received is sitting at 95.8%, which is lower than December's 97%. Next, percent of list price received is more or less the same for both months, which is 98.3% compared to previous 98.6%. Now, the days on market until sale is actually almost double in January than what it was in December, sitting at 45 days compared to the previous month's 25. Now, all of this has had a decent impact on the housing affordability index, bringing it up to 74 compared to December's 66. Lastly, the inventory of homes for sale is at 1,216, bringing the months of supply at 2.2 compared to December's 1,187, but also had a roughly 2.2 month supply. Moving on to Cary, Apex, Morrisville, new listings is at 337 compared to 153, meaning it more than doubled. Closed sales is at 208 to 253. Median sales price sitting at $582,500 compared to December's $605,000. And while that falls in line with the overall market trend, interestingly enough, the average sales price is up to $677,180 compared to December's $660,544. This tells me there's a lot of new construction for homes at above the average sales price. Because it's not a significant jump, it's unlikely that it's a ton of luxury homes, but still on the higher end. Total dollar volume in millions is 141 compared to December's 166. Percent of original list price received is at 67.3% compared to last month's 97.5%. Percent of list price received is sitting at 98.6, more or less on par with December's 98.9. Days on market until sale, surprisingly, is more or less the same, sitting at 30 in January compared to the 28 in December. Inventory of homes for sale is quite a bit lower than Raleigh, but 390, and in December it was 334. Lastly, we have Durham. New listings for January is 366, which is percentage-wise quite a bit more than December's 203. Closed sales is sitting at 195 compared to December's 283. Median sales price $399,000 compared to December's $415,000. And then back to the normal trend, average sales price is lower than the previous month, sitting at $455,857 in January compared to December's $493,186. Total dollar volume in millions is 89 for January compared to the 140 in December. Percent of original list price received, 95.6 compared to 96.9. And then percent of list price received, 97.9 compared to December's 98.8. Days on market is up to 35 from 27. Housing affordability index is 79 compared to December's 76. Inventory of homes for sale, 663 compared to December's 606. And month supply of homes for sale is also sitting at 2.2 compared to December's 2.0. The main takeaway is that the market activity is slowly starting to increase compared to the end of last year, and it's doing so in a manner that could potentially favor buyers over sellers. Ultimately, this is going to depend on how the interest rates go for the remainder of 2025, but generally speaking, if you're trying to decide when to buy, your most likely time to find a deal is going to be between now and March. This is considered to be the real estate off-season, and oftentimes the market reflects numbers like we're covering today. Whereas during the busy season, which for us is spring and summer, that's when a lot of homes explode on the market, but also demand goes through the roof. And typically that demand is also bound by time because people are trying to move in by August. All in all, it just makes for a more competitive market. But the good news is housing affordability is a major concern of Raleigh and more or less the entire Triangle area. So it's nice to see those numbers coming up. And lastly, since we're talking about interest rates, I pulled Freddie Mac's current primary mortgage survey with the weekly averages as of February 13th. And the 30-year fixed rate mortgage is roughly sitting at 6.87%, with the 15-year fixed rate mortgage sitting at 6.09%. Still fairly high. Ultimately, if you're buying a home as your primary residence, this just means that you're having to buy a home that's a little bit cheaper to afford the higher monthly mortgage payments. And then from the investor's perspective, this still drives new development and flips as holding costs are fairly high. And so doing cash flow strategies ends up becoming a bit more difficult. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Again, we're going to be doing market updates every single month. Next week, I'm going to be releasing a little bit of a unique video where I talk about why I left my previous career and moved to Raleigh. And then the video after that, I'll be doing another neighborhood tour. So if you want to see those, be sure to subscribe. And if you're even considering a little bit moving, reach out. My contact information will be in the description and on my channel. Let's get a game plan so that we could see if buying is right for you. And if it is, we can make the buying process easy and seamless. All right, with that, thank you, and I will see you next week.